230,000 GMC Sierras sold last year. Number 6 best-selling vehicle in America. But not all Sierras are created equal. 3 model years will cost you thousands in repairs. 4 are bulletproof, and 1 costs less than a used Camry. Which years to buy, which to run from, and 1 buying window that's closing fast. Worst number 3, and the year that catches the most Sierra buyers off guard, is the 2014. The 2014 Sierra 1500 was a complete redesign. New platform, K2XX, new body, new interior, new 8-speed transmission, the 8L90, new electrical architecture. Everything changed at once, and everything that could go wrong with a first-year truck did. The 8L90 in 2014 had the worst shift calibration of any year GM produced it. Harsh 1-2 shifts. Torque converter shudder between 30 and 50 miles per hour. A vibration that feels like driving over rumble strips on a smooth highway. GM spent the next 2 years issuing technical service bulletins trying to fix it. Dozens of calibration updates, fluid changes, torque converter replacements. Some trucks went back to the dealer 4 or 5 times for the same shudder complaint. The electrical system was equally raw. Body control module failures that killed interior lights, door locks, and power windows intermittently. The new infotainment system froze, rebooted, and lost Bluetooth connections. On the SLT and Denali trims, the power running boards, a first-year feature, had motor failures and would deploy at the wrong time or not retract at all. Here's the math that makes this a bad purchase. A 2014 Sierra 1500 crew cab 4-wheel drive with the 5.3 sits at $13,000 to $22,000 on the used market right now. For that same money, often less, you can buy a 2012 or 2013 GMT 900 Sierra with fewer miles and 0 first-year problems. Same 5.3 engine, same towing capacity. A transmission with a decade of proven reliability instead of a first-year experiment. The 2014 looks modern. It drives like a beta test, but this next worst year goes back further, and its problems are even more expensive. Worst number 2, the 2007 Sierra 1500. The first year of the GMT 900 platform, and the year that introduced the most controversial system in GM truck history. 2007 was the first year of active fuel management on the 5.3 in the Sierra. First year of the 6L80 transmission in this platform. First year of the new electrical architecture. The entire truck was new, and the AFM lifter design was in its earliest, least refined state. Here's the thing. AFM lifter failure rates on the 2007 are significantly higher than on 2010 through 2013. The oil delivery system to the AFM lifter galleries was first generation. The lifter itself was first generation. The ECU calibration for when and how aggressively the system cycled was first generation. GM refined all of this over the next 3 to 4 years. But 2007 owners were the beta testers. And it gets worse. The 2007 and 2008 Sierras have a known instrument cluster defect. The stepper motors behind the gauges fail. Speedometer sticks, fuel gauge drops to empty on a full tank. Tachometer reads 0 while driving. It's a documented GM defect that affected hundreds of thousands of trucks. The repair is $200 to $400 at a specialist, or you pull the cluster and replace the motors yourself. Not catastrophic, but annoying on top of everything else. Oil pressure sensor failures on the 2007 trigger low oil pressure warnings on engines with perfectly healthy oil pressure. Creates panic, leads to misdiagnosis. Owners replace oil pumps that don't need replacing because the sensor told them something was wrong. If you're looking at a 2007 anyway, because the price is right, here's what to check. Start the engine cold and watch all the gauges. If any needle bounces, sticks, or reads incorrectly, the stepper motors are going. Listen for a tick from the top of the engine at cold start. That's a lifter on its way out. And pull the oil pressure data with an OBD scanner instead of trusting the dash gauge. If the real pressure reads normal, but the gauge reads low, it's the sensor, not the pump. A $50 sensor versus a $500 misdiagnosis. Used market price, $7,000 to $15,000, depending on cab and mileage. A 2010 through 2013, Sierra costs $9,500 to $18,000. For $1,000 to $2,000 more, you skip every single first-year problem. 2007 was GM's experiment. 2010 was the result. Now, Worst number 1, the most expensive Sierra on the used market that you should think twice about. And it's the one most buyers assume is the safest choice. Worst number 1, the 2019 Sierra 1500. First year of the T1XX platform, and the most expensive first-year mistake GM has made in the Sierra lineup. New platform, new 10-speed transmission, the 10L80. And the biggest change, dynamic fuel management, GM's 17-pattern cylinder deactivation system. Instead of the old 4 and 8-cylinder switching of AFM, DFM can run on any combination of cylinders from 2 to 8. The ECU is constantly adjusting which cylinders are active, optimizing for fuel economy in real time. The engineering is impressive. The execution in year 1 was not. DFM lifter failures on the 2019 are documented and significant, reports at 40,000 to 80,000 miles on trucks that should run well past 200,000. The system cycles more aggressively than AFM ever did because it has more deactivation patterns. More cycling means more wear on lifter mechanisms that were brand new and unproven. Stay with me here. The 10L80 transmission had its own first-year problems: torque, converter shudder, delayed shifts, gear hunting on hills, multiple TSBs, fluid changes, reflashes. Some trucks were reflashed 3 or 4 times, and the shudder still came back. Used market price: $25,000 to $38,000. That's a significant investment in a truck with a known $3,000 to $5,000 lifter job somewhere in its future. Here's the math that should scare every 2019 buyer. A 2019 Sierra at $33,000 plus a potential $4,000 lifter job equals $37,000 total. A 2012 GMT 900 Sierra at $14,000 plus a 270 AFM disabler plus a $500 full fluid service equals $14,770. Same towing capacity. Same 5.3 platform. $22,000 apart. I'm not saying the 2019 is a bad truck. I'm saying the first year of any new platform is a beta test paid for by the buyer. And on the 2019 Sierra, that beta test costs $33,000 before the first repair bill arrives. The most expensive Sierra you can buy isn't the newest. It's the first year of the newest. Those are the 3 Sierra model years that cost owners the most money for the least reliability. A first-year K2XX, a first-year GMT 900, and a first-year T1XX. The pattern is obvious. First year of a new platform equals first generation of every problem. But the next 4 are the opposite: refined, proven, and every one of them earns back what you spent. Drop a comment. What year Sierra do you own? I want to know what's out there. And if you're finding this useful, hit subscribe. I put out Sierra-specific content every single week. Not generic truck advice, GMC-specific math that saves you thousands. Let's keep going. Best number 4, and the best budget Sierra you can buy in 2026 is the 2005 or 2006. Final years of the GMT 800 platform. 6 years of production refinement. Every problem found and fixed, every calibration updated, every supplier issue resolved. This is the GMT 800 at its absolute peak. The 5.3 Vortec in these trucks is a Gen 3, either the LM7 or the L33 aluminum high output. Here's the critical detail that makes these years special. No AFM. Neither the LM7 nor the L33 has active fuel management. The cylinder deactivation system that causes thousands of dollars in lifter repairs on later trucks simply does not exist in these engines. All 8 cylinders fire all the time. No lifter cycling, no collapse risk, no disabler needed. Here's how you verify which engine you're looking at. Open the glove box. On the inside of the door or on the sidewall, there's a white sticker with 3 character codes. That's the RPO sticker. Look for LM7 or L33. Either one means no AFM. If you see LC9 or LH6, that's a later engine code with AFM. Those didn't appear in the Sierra until 2007, but they show up in some late production 2006 Tahoes and Yukons. On a Sierra, 2005 and 2006 are safe. The 4L60E transmission in 2005 and 2006 was at the end of its evolution, the best calibrations it ever received. It's not the strongest automatic GM made, but by this point, it was the most refined. Shift quality is smooth, predictable, and well matched to the 5.3. Used market price, $5,000 to $13,000 for a crew cab 4-wheel drive. The SLT trim is the value sweet spot. Leather seats, Bose audio system, heated seats, dual-zone climate for $8,000 to $10,000. That's a fully equipped truck with a proven drivetrain and zero-cylinder deactivation concerns for the price of a high-mileage sedan. The truck your mechanic learned on, and the one he'd still buy today. This next one jumps forward a decade and lands in the sweet spot between modern technology and proven reliability. Best number 3. The 2016 through 2018 Sierra 1500, mid-production K2 XRSX, and the range where GM finally got this platform right. First-year problem from 2014? Solved. The 8L90 has been recalibrated through dozens of TSB updates. Shift shudder is dramatically reduced. Torque converter revisions have been implemented. The electrical gremlins are gone. Infotainment is stable. The body control module issues are resolved. The 5.3 in these trucks has AFM, not DFM, the simpler 4 and 8 cylinder deactivation system that's fully disableable with a 270 range device. Not 17 patterns, not constant cycling. A straightforward system with a straightforward fix. These trucks are modern enough to feel current. Apple CarPlay, backup camera, lane, keep assist, forward collision alert. The technology you actually use daily is all here. But they're old enough to avoid the DFM system and the 10-speed transmission that the 2019 introduced. That's the sweet spot. Used market price, $18,000 to $30,000 depending on trim, mileage, and configuration. The 2016 through 2018 SLT with the Z71 package is the mainstream pick. Off-road suspension, skid plates, tow package, mid-tier luxury for $20,000 to $25,000. Here's the thing. The 2016 through 2018 Sierra with the 6.2 V8 is the sleeper performance pick in this entire generation. 420 horsepower. The 8L90 by this point shifts properly. On the Denali trim, magnetic ride suspension adapts to road conditions. I talked to an owner in Texas who tows a 26-foot travel trailer with his 2017 Denali 6.2 every month. His words, "It tows like a diesel and rides like a Cadillac." You're getting a truck that outperforms most new Sierras on the road for $25,000 to $30,000 instead of $65,000. New enough to feel current, old enough to be trusted. Now, best number 2 is for the buyer who needs the newest generation. And if that's you, these are the only years to consider. Best number 2, the 2022 through 2024 Sierra 1500, the refreshed T1X, the new generation after GM fixed what they got wrong. The 2022 model year brought a significant interior redesign. 13.4-inch touchscreen, redesigned dashboard, updated materials. But the important changes are mechanical. Updated DFM calibrations that cycle less aggressively. Revised 10L80 calibrations with new torque converter design implemented during mid-2022 production. These are running changes. Not a new generation, but meaningful improvements to the hardware and software. Super Cruise, GM's hands-free highway driving system, is available on Denali and AT4X trims. The AT4X with the 6.2 and Multimatic DSSV shocks is the most capable off-road Sierra ever built from the factory. The Denali Ultimate is the most luxurious. Used market price, $32,000 to $52,000 depending on trim and mileage. That's real money. But if you need current generation technology, towing features, and the latest safety systems, this is where the problems got solved. Not 2019, not 2020, not 2021, 2022 and later. Let me be clear, I still recommend an AFM disabler or DFM disabler for towing on these trucks. The system is better, but the fundamental design, lifters that cycle under load, hasn't changed. The fix is still 270, the protection is still worth it. If you must buy new generation, this is where the problems got solved. And best number 1, the single best Sierra 1500 you can buy in 2026. The truck I recommend more than any other, and the buying window is closing. Best number 1, The 2010 through 2013 Sierra 1500, late production GMT 900, the most proven Sierra on the used market. Every first-year problem from 2007 resolved. The 5.3 Gen 4 is in its final, most refined form. The 6L80 transmission has been recalibrated and updated. Electrical issues fixed. Interior materials improved over the early GMT 900 years. This is 3 to 6 years of production refinement on a platform that was already good. 5.3 in these trucks has AFM, but it's the first generation system that's fully understood, fully documented, and fully disableable with a 270 plug-in device. Disable it on day one, and the lifter failure risk drops to nearly zero. You're left with a naturally aspirated V8 on a fully boxed frame with a proven automatic transmission. Simple, reliable, cheap to maintain. Used market price, $9,500 to $18,000 for a crew cab four-wheel drive. The 2012 through 2013 SLE with the Z71 package is the ultimate value configuration. Off-road suspension, skid plates, locking rear differential tow package for $12,000 to $15,000. Here's the day one protocol that makes this truck bulletproof. AFM disabler, $270. Full fluid service, transmission, differentials, transfer case, coolant, $300 to $500. Total investment under $800 on top of the purchase price. That eliminates the two biggest risk factors and sets you up for 200,000 miles of predictable ownership. Here's what to inspect when you're shopping this range. Rust. Check the rocker panels behind the front and rear tires, the cab corners at the bottom edge of the cab, and the brake lines underneath. Northern trucks rot in these three areas first. Service records, even partial records, tell you the previous owner cared. Walk away from heavily modified trucks, oversized tires, aftermarket lifts, blacked out everything. Stock or lightly modified examples are worth more and last longer because they haven't been stressed beyond design. And check the oil on the dipstick before you even start it. Dark, low, or burnt means the previous owner was habit number 7 from my other video. And here's the thing. The buying window on these trucks is closing. 5 years ago, a clean 2012 Sierra Crew Cab four-wheel drive was $6,000 to $10,000. Today, $12,000 to $18,000. The prices are climbing because the market is finally realizing what mechanics have known for a decade. In 5 more years, clean examples will be $20,000 or more. The time to buy is now, not next year, now. The most reliable Sierra you can buy in 2026 isn't the newest one on the lot. It's the one that's already proven everything it needs to prove. 3 worst years, 4 best years. The pattern is the same one that shows up across every vehicle manufacturer. First year of a new platform is a gamble, and the last years before a redesign are where the engineering peaks. If you're buying a Sierra in 2026, the math is simple. Budget buyer, 2005 or 2006, no AFM, no problems, under $10,000. Smart buyer, 2010 through 2013, best overall value, closing window. Modern buyer, 2016 through 2018, technology plus reliability. New generation buyer, 2022 or later, never 2019. If you want to know which engine to pair with your Sierra purchase, watch The Only GMC Engine Worth Buying in 2026. And to protect whatever Sierra you buy, watch Never Do This to Your GMC Engine, 5 Deadly Mistakes. That video covers the habits that kill engines and the free fixes that prevent it. Not all Sierras are created equal. Now you know which ones are. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.